President Trump is weighing what he calls very strong options in response to Tehran's deadly crackdown on the nationwide protests. Hundreds of people have reportedly been killed, the majority of them demonstrators. And President Trump now says Tehran wants to talk.
Iran called to negotiate. Yesterday, the leaders of Iran called, they want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States. A meeting is being set up, but we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting.
For more, CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams is joining us from Erbil in neighboring Iraq. So, Holly, break down what we know about the situation happening inside Iran as of this morning.
Good morning, Vlad. You know, the problem for us is that, like most other international journalists, we can't get into Iran at the moment to actually report on what's happening on the ground. On top of that, Iran's internet was cut off late on Thursday evening. That's an apparent attempt by the authorities to stop the protesters from organizing and also to stop them posting videos online for the world to see. Now, despite that, some videos are still getting out. It seems that some Iranians are using Starlink for internet access. That's the satellite communication system produced by Elon Musk's SpaceX. Those videos really tell a story. They show ongoing mass protests. They show Iranians calling for an end to the regime, an end to the Islamic Republic. Some of those videos appear to show Iranian security forces opening fire at protests, and some also appear to show large numbers of body bags. That is apparently protesters that have been killed. One human rights monitoring group says that around 500 protesters have been killed so far. Now, we cannot independently verify that number, but it's crucial because President Trump has repeatedly threatened to hit Iran hard if protesters are killed. Of course, we don't know exactly where President Trump's red line is, and we don't know what impact any U.S. intervention would actually have inside Iran.
So, Holly, the president, as you know, and you just indicated, is weighing how to respond to those crackdowns. But what action could the U.S. feasibly take? I mean, are we talking about missile strikes? Are we talking about cyber warfare, economic?
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, a U.S. official told CBS News that the president has already been briefed on options for military strikes inside Iran. The Wall Street Journal, interestingly, is reporting that the president will be briefed again tomorrow by senior officials on various different possible next steps, including not just military strikes, but also the use of cyber weapons against Iran and more sanctions against the Iranian regime. Now, Iran has responded by warning that if the U.S. takes military action, it will retaliate. And a senior Iranian official said that American shipping and the U.S. military would be legitimate targets. That is extremely relevant where I am in Iraq, just across the border from Iran, because there are U.S. bases here, as well as around 2,000 American troops.
All right, Holly Williams reporting from Erbil in Iraq. Thank you, Holly. Appreciate it. All right, let's stay on this topic with CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro, who's joining us from the White House this morning. Aaron, what are you hearing from the administration as to when they might potentially act?
President Trump said last night to reporters that he was getting close to a sort of red line when it comes to military actions, as Holly reported that he had been briefed on. But he's really kept the details of any operation close to the chest. As I said earlier, he said that, shootings of protesters would be a major factor. And we know he's been getting hourly reports of what's been happening in Iran. And he will be at some, either in the coming days or weeks, will be meeting with Iranian leadership, or U.S. officials will be, but said, quote, we may have to act because of what's happening before any such meeting takes place.
All right. So why is the administration so heavily focused on foreign policy when voters have shown that they want the president to prioritize domestic issues? In fact, as you know, Aaron, he campaigned on this America First policy. He lambasted other former U.S. presidents who had pursued a more robust international geopolitical strategy in years past. Was he doing this now?
Yeah, it's a question many Republicans on the Capitol Hill, as well as operatives in the battleground states, have been asking. And during his New York Times interview, President Trump was asked about his record on the economy and why he's so focused on foreign conflicts, especially ahead of the midterms. In response, he sounded very defensive. He said, quote, he inherited a mess from the Biden administration in terms of the economy and immigration, and said, quote, I can't fix what they destroyed in 4 years immediately. We know that presidents historically in their second terms usually tend to focus on foreign policy, but the president has made clear that building U.S. strength globally through the actions we saw in Venezuela, what he's talked about in regards to Greenland, is a top priority. We do know that President Trump and his team have said that he will do more domestic side speeches going into the midterm season, and we're expecting to hear him talk about the economy tomorrow at the Detroit Economic Club.
All right, Aaron Navarro at the White House. Thank you, Aaron.